Yo, 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 welcome to another episode of the Culturally Controversial Podcast, man. I'm your host, Simply Nicholas87, and my special guest host, friend and family of the show, Mr. Charles Holly.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I'm excited.
And for all the new people out there that hadn't subscribed to the channel, y'all go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, also hit the notification bell, let you know when we're going live for football content. This is Bearcat Talk, episode 5. If you count the coaches show, would be episode 6, I would say. But
Nice.
we're gonna do some recapping and preview for tomorrow night's game at home against Pender. But let's get into it. Anson traveled to Hunter Husk last week. I wasn't able to go to the game, but I did watch it on the network, watch it on TV. Anson came short. I think the final score was 28-12.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Yep. I attended that game. Um, yeah, it was
yeah,
difficult.
yeah. Tell us some stuff, man. I like to hear your perspective.
Well, I say I drove all day, so I already showed up with a bad attitude. But yeah, it was frustrating. Um, they kept playing a dog at some point, and
Hmm.
somebody had got on their phone and found a dog on Apple Music, started playing
Hmm.
it. So that was weird. But yeah, it was the same type of deal as it's been being.
Yeah, from what I've seen, we came out in the first half very competitive, and the defense actually got I want to say it was a turnover on downs, a stop,
Yeah.
um, and it was looking real good in the first half.
Oh yeah.
We went down, scored. I think it was 6-0 at one point. Then I think they went back down and scored again. It was 12, well, 12-0 or 12-0.
Yeah, I think it was at 12-0 at one point.
12-0 at one point, and then right before the half, I think they punched in a touchdown. It was a 12-6, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely. It was very exciting at that point. Um, but second half was not that way, Nick.
Yeah, the second half, it was a tale of two stories. It's like the second half we came out, gave up. I don't want to say the exact passing yards, but as a total, Hunter Hoods had 9 completions for 235 yards through the air.
Again.
235 yards. Anson was 4 for 11 yards passing. Um, if we go for the rushing stats, Anson was we had 41 carries for 155 total rush yards. They had 21 carries for 113 rush yards. The issue, it seems to be that we don't have a problem rushing the ball. We run the ball very effectively. I will say that.
Correct. Yes, sir.
We are a very effective team when it comes to the run. Now, as far as the pass, I know the offense isn't designed to and for passing situations. It's basically designed to run. If we go into the total yards for the last week's game, it was 166 for Anson, 406 for Hunter Husk. Um, we go to I'm going to the defensive part of it. We had an interception, which was a good sign. Um, I thought that was a good turnaround for that secondary, as it has been struggling for the first couple weeks of the season. Um, the one interception showed some light. I think that was in the first half as well. Um, they didn't have. I don't think they had 8 interception. But now when we go to the tackle part of the things, like when we break down tackling, Anson had 42 tackles totality for the game. Hunter Hurst had a totality of 82 tackles,
Wow.
50 of them being solo tackles. We had one block punt was like I want to say that was either in the second half or at the end of the first
Well,
half.
and I remember that too. Yeah, it's starting to come back to me now.
Hmm.
It was an exciting defensive game coming into halftime there. Um, the second half, there was a couple things going on that you can't really see in those stats, like with the referees. That's another problem that's been happening game after game. Things not being called, or when they call things that's not actually happening. So that was frustrating. But anyways, I'll let you get back to it.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know the referees play a big part in it, but I'll say this. it's also the we don't this game I seen that we took another step back as far as like because if you go back and look at the previous games, we've ran the ball exceptionally well. I would say
Dangerous.
over 200 a game at least. I would say if I had
Yes.
to average at least 200. I know we had one game we ran over 400, maybe two games over 400 rushing, if I'm not mistaken. Or well, I'll say three. The first game was 300 and something, 368. I want to say. I can't quite remember what it was against Montgomery Central. I know South Stanley they ran for 400, and then
Uh,
this week they ran for 155. So like I said, running the ball, they can run the ball, but at some point, and just me, I'm I'm not a coach. I just speak what I see. Somehow, in some way, we got to get a pass offense going because with that run
I
combination,
agree.
we can get some kind of pass game. It's very lethal.
It is
I,
because their running game is very deadly,
yeah,
but
it's
it's
very
not.
very good.
Yeah, it's not long term. I can understand that, and I agree with that. Um, I thought I would see more of that this game against Hunter Huss, to be honest. Um, then there were some spurts and there were some things that popped up, but I agree with that.
Yeah. And I say this is by Hunter Hurst, they are a quality opponent, and they did what they had to do. They won the game. I didn't see nothing that actually wowed me with them either, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah, they just stayed in the game, really.
they stayed in the game. Yeah, they fought back from a 12-0 deficit, and I think the second half they ended up scoring 22 points, and
Did
we
you have
didn't.
the turnover stats from that game?
I do not. Do you have them?
I'm going to get them real quick because
Oh, okay.
that was
I
one thing
think
I was thinking during
as
the week.
far as turnovers, I think we did pretty decent as far as the turnovers. I don't think we had many. If we had one, I can't recall if we had one. If we did, I think it was just one. I know we got an interception, so that would be a turnover for them. And then a turnover on downs. I think they had two turnover on downs. If I'm not,
Yes. Yeah. Two.
we had
'Cause
two, or they had two,
they had two.
and we had
One.
okay one turnover. So we fixed the turnover situation. That's a plus in the book. I can live with the fixing the turnover, but we got to get those W's in the column. And in my opinion, I'm just like I said, I'm not a coach. It's just what I see. I think we need to get a passing game going, find some kind of quick game because that running game has no issues. We can run the ball with the best of them. In my honest opinion, we can run, but you gonna have to eventually that one dimensional. Everybody sees they can stack the box. Then you're gonna have to figure something. Get a quick pass game going. Even if you got to
I
come
agree.
out of pistol or spread or whatever you need to do, because if you can make something out of that, then it becomes okay. Now we got to respect the run, but we also got to respect that pass game as well. So that's just my take on it. And I understand this was one of those tough losses because I felt like we played an exceptionally better game on defense this game
You
than we
did.
have in the
Yes.
past three.
I agree. There was a lot more confidence. The guys out there had a whole different level. You could tell they were locked in and focused and ready to play. Um, it, we got to learn how to finish a ball game though, and that is something that they're changing. They've changed the offense. It's something you're just going to have to work on. But somebody, one of those seniors, are going to have to step up and start holding each other accountable. And they're going to have to learn how to win a ball game, finish it 4 quarters, all the way through. They're very capable.
Yeah, they're very capable. The talent is, I mean, it is a high level of talent. Don't get me wrong. They have the talent. That talent
Absolutely.
is there. And it's just when it comes to the second half, it's a tale of two stories. Like the first half, we come out and we just um we come out and we just put our foot down on the gas, and then in the second half it's just like, all right, let's just put it in third and let's put it in fifth and just cruise down the road. And sometimes that may be a good thing, but sometimes that may be a curse. Like the games they came back and scored and took the lead, the go ahead lead. Now I can't really put offense in that bad book of that because they actually did what they had to do, and that South Stanley game came down to that quick that last drive for them going down the field at
Hmm.
the I think they were at the 40.
Yeah, something
They I
like that.
think something at the 40. Then with a few seconds they had a timeout in the pocket and threw a slant down the middle. So yeah, that was another tough loss. I would say that was a very tough loss. To a very good team, by the way. I'm not knocking South Stanley because they've came a long way. So, I mean,
Yeah, they
kudos to
have.
them.
What uh Tyrell was talking about? I forgot his name. He's from Manson. That coaches that team.
Oh, Coach Shankle, Terry Shankle.
Mr. Shankle. Yeah, Coach
Yeah.
Shankle. Yeah,
hmm
congratulations to them. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, and again, congratulations to Hunter Husk. They did what they had to do. We came up and then we just in the second half we didn't finish that game, and I feel like that game right there was a game that we should have won because we actually played one of the more cleaner games as far as defensively into the
Correct.
second half. That's where I'm at with that one. Like I just felt like the second half we just didn't come out there and it was just like we was in cruise control. Like
Correct.
it felt like they thought they were up 40 to nothing, and I know it was a 12. I want to say 12-6 ball game. But at that point, you gotta keep the foot on the throttle. Like I said, kudos to them for fighting back and getting that win. Right now, we're sitting at 0-4 going
Mm.
into tomorrow night against Pender. I think they're called the Patriots, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Pender Patriots. They're from somewhere near Wilmington.
Yeah.
I can't
Pender's family
exactly
somewhere.
pinpoint it, but I know they're like a little north of Wilmington.
Yes, sir.
They're 3-0. Um, and what I do know about some of those East region teams, they're very competitive and they're very good. They don't get talked about a lot because of where we sit. Our region talks about more of the Western region. Your West Charlottes, your Kings Mountains, your Cresses, your Asheville's, your Brevards and Monroes and uh, Grimsleys and all those teams that we'll talk about probably a little bit later. We just we gotta come out. This is a game that, and I said it last week. This is that game that you're home. Last week you seen what you could do. Let's just put it in 4 quarters and let's just do it. Because, like I said, if you could come out effectively, minimize the turnovers, get some stops on defense, and just control the tempo of the game, regardless if you win 14-0, 40-0, 7-0. If you can control that ball, keep them off the field offensively, defense has got to make a lot of stops. This game here, I feel like the defense they got to show up and show out. This is the show up and show out game.
It is. Now, the offense, does it need to put the pedal to the metal? Is that what you're saying?
I would say yes and no, and here's why I say yes and no. If we can control the clock, minimize the possessions for that offense to keep our defense, not saying they're not capable of making stops, but if we got to do what we need to do, we can definitely put this game away. In my opinion, we need to just
Absolutely.
control time of possession, uh, make those drives count. We need to score. We don't need to get down there and stall. We need to score. And I've seen all this so far this season that they can get down there and score. There's no issue with that.
So,
We're just
go ahead. Sorry.
no. You go ahead. You go ahead.
Yeah. So, I guess what I'm sitting here thinking this through, and I remember back in that Hunter House fourth quarter, wanting it to pick up the pace. You know,
hmm
why aren't we picking up the pace? And that's where I think you're talking about that passing game would come into. We could. pop one deep with 6 minutes, 5 minutes left, but the momentum's nowhere, and we can get it back that quick, and you're right back in the ball game. At least with you know the spirit, because it felt like the air got sucked out of it very quickly. Um,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
we,
I think after halftime, like I said, I just think they were in cruise control, and that's like I said, that's just me watching. I'm not saying that's what happened. That's not what I'm saying at all.
oh yeah,
I'm just saying that it just looked that way,
well
and
that comes back to adversity too.
mhm.
Sometimes uh, it seems like these boys get um, a challenge, and they don't believe in themselves. Sometimes I don't know, but
No, I'm not gonna say they don't. I just think I'm not gonna say it's that. I feel like they've had adversity this year. They fought back in 2 games this year. If you take away the last week's game and the not Mount Pleasant, I'm sorry, Montgomery Central. If you minus those 2 games, the 2 games that they were actually in, they had to come back and take a lead at the last minute. So the adversity part, they can answer the adversity. It's more so of I feel like, and it's just me, it's too much thinking for one. I feel like they're not. I think they're thinking about stuff too much instead of just letting it flow. Like make it. I understand. Like sometimes you're thinking like, oh, I got to make a play. I got to make a play. I got to make a play. I just think me personally, um, that is. I just feel like they just overthink some things. The athleticism is there. The adversity, they can answer it when need be. You know, we
yeah,
just need one of these games where we can take the lead, keep the lead, and control the lead. That's what we're looking for now. We're looking for take advantage, take full advantage of this game. You know.
yeah. I'm gonna say right quick. I
Yeah.
got some stats for you. I did
Okay.
find. It says Cardarius Bivens 15 rushes, 97 yards, a touchdown plus a one interception on defense, but he had
Mhm.
105 all-purpose yards. Um, Tayson Harris 9 rushes for 53 yards, 6 total tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss. Jaden Delp 6 tackles. James Steele, and he was our Jarman contractor player of the week.
Player of the week. Yeah.
Yep, so 2 tackles for a loss there. I mean, that's pretty dog stats.
Yeah,
And
they
some,
and like I said, those guys right there, they're answering the cowbell. They doing what needs to be done. You can tell because Harris has been consistent all season. And Bivens, I'm not taking away from him either, but both of those guys playing back, they've been pure consistency.
mm,
And every bit of they are the nucleus of that rushing attack. And I think that those guys feel like anybody else right now. They're ready. I mean they're gonna rally their team come Friday night. Hell or high water. We ready to go to war.
yes, sir.
We ready to
Yeah,
go to war.
we knocking
They
some heads off.
yeah, and they're ready. This is passionate. Those guys are very passionate about it. I just like I said, I just think sometimes you can overthink things and things don't fall the way you want them to. And they're smart men, because I'm gonna call them men, not gonna call them boys. They're smart, very smart men, and I think they can um, handle the situation come this week. I think me personally, I think Anson should be able to. I feel like if we could control the tempo, I mean, we control the time possession, just milk that clock as much as we can, keep them off the field offensively as much as we can, score every possession we get. We should win this ball game. No questions about it. Because you're looking at a great offense, a physical offensive line. I'll say that
Very.
they're physical. So they like the contact. So now we gotta put some things together and make some things work. Defense, we got to get those three and outs. Those three and outs are more just as important as touchdowns. If we
Yes.
can get
And
those three and outs, it builds, it stacks, it builds things going into the offensive next drive because you could possibly have a shorter field with maybe a turnover or interception. Offense goes down the field, does what they need to do. The more offensive positions we got, the more chances we got to win this game.
yes, I totally agree. And that defensive line is ridiculous. Um, James Steele, he's on the defensive line, ain't
Yeah,
he?
yeah.
Okay. Um, I think he had to run off the field or something, but I couldn't believe how fast he was. I mean, he's just as fast. I'm not saying that he's not faster than Kadarius Bivens if he's listening. You know, I remember Kadarius had 133 yards at that South Stanley game, so I don't forget that. But he just moved really fast for a lineman, a defensive lineman. And I don't remember our defensive front being that big. Um,
It's been a while.
yeah, it's been a while, been
It's been
that
yeah,
big.
yeah. It's been a while, but like I said, if we can control the tempo, control what we can control, and we keep that offense scoring, get those three and outs like we need to, we should win this game soundly. Cause I'm biased. Of course, I'm taking Anson to win this week, and I feel like the answer the challenge will be answered. I feel like those guys are ready to get that W in that column. Cause after this, I think you got to buy. The homecoming is the next week. You open up conference play with West Stanley, so
Yes,
we'll
sir.
we'll get into that next week. But I'm not looking forward ahead. I'm looking just for tomorrow. You know, we gotta prepare for tomorrow, and I feel like tomorrow is that game that we come out and we silence the critics. We get that W in the column. Let's go into conference play. Let's win out. That's the goal.
Yes,
We win out from here. That's what we want. Like every week now is 1-0. But let's start with Friday. Let's get 1-0 Friday. Get that bye week. Get healthy, recover, get prepared. Go into the next week of practice. Prepare for the next opponent, and let's just keep going 1-0. Let's just keep stacking wins, so we can make a run. Because I feel like this team is capable of making a run if they get going. They get going, they're gonna be hard to beat. I put it that way. They just got to get it going. They got to get it going. Coaches have instructed you to do everything you need to do. Like we said last week, you gotta want it. And I feel like tomorrow's I gotta want it. I ain't taking no for an answer, no matter what. But play smart, but don't but ain't no time for buddy type deals on this field
no,
tomorrow. It's time to go and play some football.
yeah.
We can
How
be
we doing
friends
everything?
after the game, but
Mhm.
during the game, you my opponent. It's time. Let's go to work. That's just what it is. But
Absolutely, yeah. We got to get there. Get up in the morning and get there. Do everything right to get there.
yeah,
We need everybody ready and locked in, ready to bust some heads. So
absolutely. So yeah, with that, that's the answer. I think the game is what time's the kickoff? 7:30.
it's probably, I think it's 7:30.
Seven. I want to say 7:32. Cause I know sometimes it's seven, then some games are 7:30.
Let's see.
TH, what's going on, Ty? Hey, there goes Ty in the building. Hey, shout out to TH, man. Hey, we miss you up here, brother. Appreciate you for tuning in,
Appreciate
man.
you, Ty.
Appreciate you, man. We trying to hold the fort down for you, brother.
Good to see you,
Hand,
brother.
handle your business. Um, yeah, we're gonna get right into Max Prep's top 25 teams in the state of North Carolina. We've been doing this since week one, and oh, I gotta get the time of the game. I'm sorry, I'm tripping. Let's see if I can find the time. I want to say it's 7:30 though. I think it's 7:30. Ty, if you kind of free, do you have any information what time the kickoff is tomorrow? Good sir.
7:30.
7:30. Okay.
It is 7:30.
So 7:30 from Bearcat Stadium tomorrow night. I'll be in the
No,
building.
is it at Bearcat Stadium tomorrow night?
Yeah, I think it's a home game tomorrow.
Okay,
Yeah, it's home game.
good.
Yeah, yeah, I think JV. I don't know if JV played tonight or they on the road down there. I don't know exactly who
I
they
didn't
got.
look this week. I've had a rough week.
I
So I
got you.
didn't pay attention. But I know that drive last week killed me. I've been working on the other side of Wake County, so it's a long
Oh
drive.
yeah, that's like four, almost 4 hours.
Yeah, 7:30 at home. You're right.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'll be in the building tomorrow night, as usual.
I'll be on my best behavior, coach. Promise. I won't not scream at the ref and call him garbage again. Sorry about that. Anyway,
All right, let's
let's
get
go.
into the Max Prep Top 25 teams in North Carolina. We do this every week now. We've been doing this since week one, and I mean, if you wanna, we usually do who you think is gonna win, but we'll name the team and then we'll tell the opponent, and then you can predict who you think will win that game.
Oh, I'm not a good predictor. This is gonna be good. All right, I'll do. I'll
No,
play.
it's nothing, it's nothing serious. We just,
Let's do it.
all right, all right. Coming in at number 25 this week, we got the Kings Mountain Mountaineers. Kings Mountain has one of those top powerhouses up there towards if I'm not mistaken, it's Cleveland County.
It is.
Yeah, Cleveland County. Um, they're gonna be in contention for running for state this year because they're always in contention for that. Their opponent this week is Forest View, the Jaguars from Forest View. I'm
Okay.
gonna take Kings Mountain.
Okay. Um, what county is Forest View in?
Um, I'm not 100% sure. I think it's somewhere in that area though.
It didn't Nancy get beat by Kings Mountain?
That was like
2000.
2008, 2009
Yeah, I'm still sorry
playoff.
about that.
Yeah, playoff game. 50, I think it was 55-56 if I'm not mistaken.
I'm gonna go with Forest View just
All
for
right.
history purposes. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Number 24, the Butler Bulldogs. Butler's been pretty consistent this year. Another one of those 7, 8, or 8A schools up there towards the Mecklenburg County area.
Hmm.
Their opponent this week is the Providence Panthers. I'm gonna take Butler by a lot. Cause
Well, yeah, that's pretty clear there. Go ahead.
all right. Number 23, our neighbors across the bridge, the
Ooh.
Richmond Senior Raiders. They've been on they had a
Them-
good little win last week, if I'm not mistaken. I think they did win last week.
They
Um,
have, but they're below their standard. I believe they would say that about themselves. So
yeah, they play West Forsyth this week, home
okay,
of NBA future Hall of Famer Chris Paul.
awesome. I'm gonna take let's take the first one. I'm
Take
gonna take
Richmond.
Richmond. I think they're gonna come out and they're gonna Richmond seniors are gonna make a statement with Forsyth. So
Uh, I'm gonna have to go the opposite direction. I'm going West Forsyth on this one.
okay,
I'm gonna take.
why
I'm
was
gonna
that?
take. Um, they played some pretty good games this year. West Forsyth, I think they had played Grimsley, which we'll talk about them in a little while.
You can tell I didn't
Um,
study for this.
oh no, you good, you good.
That's funny.
Like I said, this is something we we do now just to show some appreciation to some of the teams that's in the area around the region. Or
Absolutely.
all in the top 25. So we try to do that. West Forsyth has had the first couple games they played so far. They've had quality opponents. I do know I think they won week one. They lost to Grimsley, and they beat I forgot who else did they beat. I think they're sitting at 2-1 if I'm not mistaken. They're at 2-1. But I'm gonna take the Titans.
Phew.
Hmm. All
I
right,
guess. Go
you,
ahead.
you, you going with the Raiders?
I guess. Yeah, I'm still gonna stick with the Raiders.
All right. Number 22. Don't know too much about this team, but I do know that they were a 3A team last year, if I'm not mistaken, and that is Jordan. I know they were a 3A team. I'm not sure if they're from that Raleigh area or somewhere near that Raleigh area.
Probably
Um,
so.
but they do play Apex, which I know that's near the Raleigh area.
Mm. Yes, that's in Wake County, suburb
Yeah.
of Raleigh. So
Uh, I don't really know too much about both teams, but I'm just gonna take Jordan. because I do know they were in the playoffs in 3A last year or the year before last. I'm taking Jordan.
Okay, and I'm gonna take Apex because I just know there's a lot of people that live there, and there's got to be some dogs in there somewhere.
All right. Number 21, Myers Park Mustangs.
Oh,
Myers
Myers
Park has
Park.
been on a terror. I think they are, if not undefeated, they got one loss on their record. They are going to be a problem in that conference that they're in. They line up against Charlotte Christian tomorrow.
Yeah, Myers Park on my end.
Okay. Uh, who? Give me Charlotte Christian.
That's it.
Yeah,
It's
I take.
possible. Definitely.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna take Charlotte Christian. Again, well, number 20 is the team that we just talked about, Charlotte
Yep.
Christian. So yeah, they're case taking Charlotte Christian. All right, number 19, Watauga.
Mm,
I think Watauga was a 4A team last year, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Watauga they have pretty good runs as well, and they host a 3A team last year that was undefeated, and West Charlotte beat. I think it was Irwin. I think they played Irwin last year in the playoffs.
mm. Okay,
Um,
I can't remember.
I'm gonna take Watauga.
And I'm gonna take Watauga too. I like the field.
All right. Number 18. This team needs not too much introduction. They are a blue blood of this state. The New
Hmm.
Bern Bears from out there towards New Bern, North Carolina.
Powerhouse.
Powerhouse. Nothing but the truth, the whole truth, and everything but the truth. So help me God. Um,
Standards.
the
Yeah.
standard is the standard. They were a 4A team last year. Won state championship. I think year before last they were 4A state champion. Um, they got a nice little tough task tomorrow. They play the Huff Huskies.
How's Huff been playing lately?
Great.
They're a 4A team too, right?
Yes, I think they're undefeated.
I think I'm gonna take Huff.
Ooh, okay. Um, ooh, man.
That's pretty. That's a long shot, but I'm gonna stick with it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad pick though. I'm with you. Um, man. You know what? Just because I'm gonna take Huff too. I think Huff can outlast New Bern. It's gonna be a pretty close game. I think it's gonna be a real low scoring game, but
It
I think
will.
a very close game at that. All right, number 17. The boys from Boiling Springs. They need no introduction. The Chris
Boo.
Chargers.
Boo.
Chris came off a tough loss last week to the Weddington Warriors. I think it was a 31 to 10, if I ain't mistaken. I think it was 31-10. Um, this week they get to sit at the house. They got to buy. They get to sit at home and get ready for their next opponent. But again, Chris is another one of those teams in the state of North Carolina uh they if they get right at the right time or get hot at the right time, they're gonna be hard to beat when it comes to playoffs, especially if they can get a good bit of home playoff games.
Yes.
That atmosphere up there is pumped. Those guys, uh, they are another one of those blue bloods in the state. So shout out to the Chris Chargers.
Yeah. Shout out, Chris. We need the blue blood down here.
It's coming. It's coming. All right, number 16, Charlotte Catholic.
Oh, Sean Catley.
Charlotte Catholic, another one of those schools that are in
Consistently.
contention. Yeah, consistently they're in contention. Um, I'm not sure what classification they're in this year. Um, I think they've lost a game or two this year, but they play quality opponents as well. Um, I know they lost to Charlotte Latin. No, Charlotte Christian. I'm sorry. They lost to Charlotte Christian this early last week. I want to say last week. I think we were
Mm,
talking about that.
yeah.
Um, they got a nice little task ahead of them. They play the Weddington Warriors.
Another blue blood.
Yeah. Um,
Mm.
With all those D1 commits over there, whew, Thomas Davis Jr. is absolutely a beast. Give me Weddington by at least 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I'll take Winston as well.
All right, number 15, Mooresville. They have a beautiful stadium. They've been playing pretty good. I think they were actually in the Keep Pounding Classic. They played South Point. No, they didn't
Yes,
play South Point. Was it or
the Raiders.
Weddington? South Point from Rock Hill, the Stallions. I
Uh,
I I think that did they. I'm not 100% sure that they played them. I know they were in the Classic. I just don't remember who they. I think they might have played Weddington. They played Weddington. I think they had Weddington, and because West Charlotte played Grimsley. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
mhm.
I think that's what it was. Because there was 3 games. Because South Point played. I forgot who they actually played. I had to look it up. But
It's all good.
yeah, Mooresville, they're they're good. They're not bad. They got I would say a respectable opponent this week, East Forsyth.
I, I think I'm gonna take Mooresville on that one.
Yeah, I got Mooresville by a touchdown. We'll go Mooresville by a touchdown. All right, number 14, Millbrook. And if I'm not mistaken, Millbrook is somewhere near that Raleigh, Wake County area. If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, you are right. Now that you mentioned that, it is it. Wake County.
Okay.
Don't
I'm
know
not.
much about him, but
Yeah, I don't know a heap about it myself. I know that they're playing Athens Drive. Athens Drive.
I'm gonna look that one up too.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take Millbrook. They're on this list for
Yeah,
a reason.
by a field goal.
Yeah. Number 13, Hargard. Hargard is out towards that Wilmington area too as well.
hmm
Um, they're I think they're undefeated or they got one loss, but they are playing Panther Creek,
I think I'm
and I
gonna
don't
take
really know.
Harvard on them.
Yeah, I'm taking Hargett. I don't really know too much about Panther Creek.
Yeah, I'm I can't type fast enough to look this stuff up here.
Well, if you need me to slow down, I'll slow down a
No,
little
you're
bit.
good. I mean, these schools are just it's changed a lot. You got to pay more attention to this stuff.
Okay, number 12. We talked about this down at towards the bottom of the list.
Yes,
This was West Forsyth. They're playing, like I said, we're playing Richmond Senior tomorrow. I think I took West Forsyth. You took
and I
Richmond
took
Senior.
Richmond. Yeah,
Yeah. Number 11, another team that's on the list, East Forsyth. They're number 11, playing Mooresville. I think I took Mooresville on that one.
yeah, Morrisville.
All right, let's get into the top 10. Number 10, we know them as Big I, but most people know them as the Independence Patriots. Um, Independence is getting back to the dominance that they were once upon a time ago. Uh,
Yes, they are.
they had a few rough years in between, but I think they found that formula now. That they're here to stay for a while. And shout out to Coach McFadden um, for bringing that program back to its dominance that it once was.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
and shout out to Chris Lyles. His son also plays for Independence. He's a cornerback. So shout out to him too.
Shut up, Chris.
They play Palisades tomorrow.
You, you know where
Don't know.
Palisades is?
Yeah, I think it's somewhere in Charlotte.
Okay.
Don't know too much about them, but I do know if it's Big Eye involved, I'm taking Big Eye, and I'm taking Big Eye by a lot.
I wonder if Independence still runs the shotgun.
Uh, I want to say they do.
Yeah, well, then I take them by a lot as well. Then
Number 9, Cleveland.
Cleveland County.
Nah, this is another Cleveland. I don't think they're in
Oh no.
Cleveland. This is a Cleveland that's I'm not sure where they located. We talked about this week one, and I forgot already. I think they're somewhere up in the central part of the state.
Mm,
But Cleveland has a good week this week as they play at the house.
nice.
They're getting ready for a good week at the house.
Yeah,
Uh,
Johnston County, by the way.
okay, and Johnson, that's out towards the eastern side of the state, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Clayton area.
okay, that makes sense. I got Cleveland winning at the house.
Winning at the house. Me too.
Winning at the house. Um, Number 8. This team is I think it's found at Spark. They had a big announcement last week of a transfer heading to Weddington. The West Charlotte Golden Lions.
Golden Lions.
They've struggled in the beginning of the year. They had that good win against Monroe. They destroyed Providence last week. So I think they're back at 2-2. They had a heartbreaker week one against who I consider the powerhouse of this state, the Whirlies, but we'll talk about them in a little bit as well.
Hmm.
Um, West Charlotte's finding their rhythm. They played a tough loss to a very good competitive South Point team, who's a no less than a top 5 or 6 team in the state of South Carolina. They came up short in overtime down there. Um, um, they have. I'll just put it this way: West Charlotte should win by 50 tomorrow. They're playing West Met.
Okay. Well, uh, I hope Mr. Coble goes off. Rex Coble's son. I know I'm a
Y-
big follower of him. I know his son plays on that team, so I hope he
yes.
catches 10 of them.
Yeah, shout out to Riggs, man.
Yeah. Shout out Rick.
All right, number 7, Cardinal Gibbons.
That's from Raleigh, I think.
Yep, Cardinal Gibbons. They're another one of those powerhouses that make a deep run in the playoffs from the eastern region of the state. Um, they got a tall task with them this week as they play Mallet Creek.
Mm, that's a tough one there.
Yeah, I know. um, hmm. You know what? I'm gonna take Mallet Creek.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take Mallard Creek as well. They probably got a pros kid playing on the team.
Mallet Creek has had they played a pretty good schedule so far. They've traveled out of state. They lost to the number 4 team in the country a week before last, Grayson in Georgia.
In
They
Georgia,
got
yeah.
they got absolutely destroyed by that team. But other than that, they've been nothing but solid. So like I said, that that one loss, there's no shame in it. They're the number 4 team
Mm-mm.
in the United States for a reason. So
Yes.
I mean, respect to them. But I'm gonna stick with Mallet Creek, no Creek guys. You going with Mallet Creek or you going?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Number 6, Roseville. Roseville, I think that's up there somewhere in that area too, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. I've heard the name before.
I think
Who they
it's
playing
it.
this week?
They're playing Corinthian Holders.
Mm. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Roseville.
Yeah, I expect Roseville to roll.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, of course, Mallet Creek versus Cardinal Gibbons. We already had that one.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, the Weddington Warriors. We've talked about them against Charlotte Catholic. I think we both agreed that Weddington should win this
Weddington,
one.
yes.
Number 3, the Huff Huskies. They are playing New Bern. I think I went with
Um,
Huff.
yeah, we both went opposite this time, I think.
Okay.
Huff.
Number 2, this was a shocker. I think they moved up a good bit in the poll from last week. Providence Day.
Providence Day.
hmm
I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah, they are a They are one of those powerhouses. I think they're ranked somewhere between the 20s and the net in the United States. They're in the top 20 in the United States when
Mm.
it comes to football. Yeah. Um, they're playing Raboon Gap out of Georgia.
Now, them Georgia boys are some
Or
dogs
Raven
now.
Raven Gap, as they say.
They play that's different in Georgia football. I don't know nothing about that team, but
Raven Gap is a pretty good team. They're not a pushover by far. They're good.
I
I'm
think I'll
probably
take Ravens Gap then
I'm gonna go Providence Day for the upset.
for the upset.
For the upset. And number one, this team doesn't need too much of introduction.
Nope.
They come in like the win, and they have the number one quarterback prospect in the country,
Yes, they do.
the Grimsley Whirlies.
The Grimsley Whirlies.
The Whirlies from Grimsley. They are lining up. They hadn't lost. They're lining up against Southwest Guilford, and I'm gonna take the Whirlies by 3 trailer parks
I'm
and
about to
an
say
RV camper.
111 and a half.
111 and a half to -3. I'm going to take the Whirlies.
Yeah. Yes,
They
sir.
have the number one quarterback in the nation, and he's been nothing but spectacular. Um, I'm not sure what he's committed to as far as college, but he is that guy.
He definitely is. I don't think he is committed, is he? Well, I'll have to
My,
look.
I had to look. I don't think he's committed to nobody yet, as far as I've seen. But that could change going into the further into the season. But yeah, that's our top 25 for the state of North Carolina, man. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, um, I think this week's going to be really, it's going to be really interesting. You got some perennial powerhouse names that are always in there, and then you got some that are popping back up that haven't been doing so well for hot so long, and then you got some people in there that are trying to poke their head through and make a name for themselves. So I think you're gonna have a good weekend of high school North Carolina high school football, and I'm pretty sure this thing's gonna continue to change in the next few weeks as we go into the conference play.
Oh yeah. Um, Out of all these games, and I always ask like, which game do you think would be the top game in the state?
Me personally.
Hmm.
Um, hmm. Well, my heart wants to say the Anson Bearcats versus the Pender County Patriots, uh,
That's a fair assessment.
and that's the one that means most to me.
Mm.
So
I,
I think since you said a fair assessment, I'm gonna take that one.
okay, that's fair. I'm with you on that. And as it should be. That's the number one. That's the most important game tomorrow. The Bearcats versus the Patriots. So,
And Huff and Newbern, though, realistically, that that's gonna be interesting there. If Huff does knock off Newbern,
yeah, I think that Huff and New Bern game is probably gonna be one of those. That's gonna be a pretty good game. And I'll go as far as the Independence and Palisades. I think that's gonna be a pretty good one. Of course, Weddington and Charlotte Catholic is probably gonna be a classic as
yes.
well. But if I had to go the number one, um, biasly not saying Anson because I would like you I would say Anson, but number one would for me would probably be New Bern and Hoof
Yes.
because it doesn't get no better than that. That's a game that you would say 2 years ago would be a state championship game.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I still haven't really gathered the understanding on this new conference and thing, but I agree with you on that. When were these rankings put out for these
I think
games?
I think they put them out on. either Tuesday. I think they do them on Tuesdays when they do these
Tuesday.
rankings. Yeah, on Max Prep.
Okay.
Yeah, so usually they change on Tuesdays. They don't instantly change. I think right. It's either Tuesday or Wednesday morning. I think that's
Yeah,
when they.
Charlotte Catholic. I'm sitting here looking at it. Sorry.
Mm,
Um, Catholic. They have always had a really great team, but there's a team we ain't talked about that's similar, in my opinion, to Charlotte Catholic. That I'm looking at Max Preps here. That is possibly going to sneak into the top 25 this coming up Tuesday, and that's Lake Norman. You know Lake
yeah.
Norman.
Hmm.
That's a pretty good team right now. I wish I'd had some more stats on them, but I'm just looking at what they're talking about on Max Preps here, and I think that's going to be a sneaker there.
Yeah. I see them pushing into that top 25. Another team I think that should probably be pushing into there very soon. A team that was in there at the beginning of the season, they kind of disappeared, but um, I think they'll be back. And that's the 71st Falcons out of Fayetteville.
Yes,
Shout out to
sir.
Coach Anthony Harris. And them Falcons, they took a tough loss week one, but they've bounced back. They've won the, I don't know if you want to call it the 95 Classic, the 95, the Battle for 95, or the Battle for one. Well, I say the Battle for one because that's technically we looking at it. So they played Hoke last week and they won the inaugural Battle of 95 slash 4-1 um trophy, which I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
But shout
what was his name again?
Coach
Mr.
Anthony
Harris.
Harris. Yes.
Yeah, shout out Coach Harris. I saw something online, and I had thought to myself like they have built a dynasty over there, and these folks are like talking reckless because they beat them. You know, one time these folks had a winning streak. What did they, two
Mm.
years in a row
Yeah,
undefeated?
they've been undefeated. This is the first year they lost in the regular season, but you got to go back at least, I want to say 4 years at least, maybe five, that they've been undefeated in the regular season.
That's Nick
Um,
Saban type stuff. Bill
yeah,
Belichick, you know, they got that's something to hang your hat on. So keep
yeah.
digging at it.
You've got and I can just name it off for you just by what I've seen. They had a third round. They made it to the third round one year. I think fourth round one year.
Hmm.
I think no, there was third two times. I think they made it to the fourth, came up short, and then they won the East Region 2 years back to back. Made the state championship game back to back. Came up short in both games, not by a blowout or nothing, but by a touchdown. They played West Charlotte last year, who was heavily favored to score a lot of points on them, but they held West Charlotte to 14. So that
That's
defense is very stingy with a
it
with
is.
a high powered West Charlotte offense. They just didn't come up like they wanted to. It was 14-7. So again, I hang my hat on it. I mean, it's not easy getting there back to back. That's saying a lot. Just getting there back to back. You
Hmm.
can say what you want that they play in. It might not be the most powerful conference, but when you play state playoffs, you're playing all the conferences, so it don't even matter at that point. It's zero
It no.
zero. You're playing a multitude of people from different areas. So to do that on a consistent basis and do it in style with class and they can back it up. Like I said, I know nobody likes to lose, but there's no shame in the teams that they lost to. They lost to Hickory the year before and lost to West Charlotte last year. So it's no hanging your heads on that. Like they are who they are, and they're going to be competing. Just because they took that loss early in the season, I feel like that was a reset button for them to
It
get close
was.
and
Yes.
get locked back in. So because you don't have the same cast of players, seniors come and go, but the train keeps rolling, and that's how you got to keep going with it. They'll be back. Trust me, believe. I still got them as my favorites to win that East region this year in 6A.
Oh
Um,
yes.
and I actually got to win the state championship game. I'll go that far, you know. But we're getting halfway through the season, so it's a lot of teams are finna switch it up. They're finna kick into another gear. Um, like I said, I'm still not 100% sure how they're gonna do this format for the playoffs. I'm real interested to see it. I'm definitely gonna do a show when they do the playoff, the playoff bracket, so we can go through them. Yeah, because I definitely want to go through it, and I want to see how everything works, how they select it, or how they go about picking it. Because I've heard that now that you don't have to win conference to get selected.
Really?
hmm that conference championship does not mean that you're gonna get you probably still get in the playoffs. But as far as seeding, I don't think you'll get the seed that you would think you get as especially if they're going by RPI.
Yeah, I think well, just my little knowledge of it, that would be one more important on those split conferences. Wouldn't that make sense?
Yeah, in a sense, yeah. But I think it also makes sense when you got those non-conference games mean a little bit more now than they did a couple years ago.
Right. We need
Because
Coach Hyde or Coach Stinson to give us a workshop class on this. That's
yeah,
confusing.
yeah, I haven't figured out by the time playoff time comes. 'Cause I'm going to do my research and see how this works. Or we'll all see together because we will be we'll be talking about the playoffs as they go on for the season. So yeah,
That's
that's
awesome.
that's that's pretty much what we got. But yeah, we've been this 56-minute mark. Man, I appreciate Charles Holland for coming up here tonight. As we do every show, man. I like to give everybody the floor and let them get off what they want to get off, talk about anything, and I give you the floor. I also appreciate you for coming up and um, being a great host tonight, man.
Yeah, thank you. Awesome. Appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate the invite. It meant a lot to me. So y'all were some good friends of mine, and I really appreciate what you do. And I hope some of the Bearcats are watching. I hope people in the community are watching. Um, Getting involved in this type of stuff um, together as a community, I think is really important. So that's all I really wanted to say. Um, I appreciate what Coach Allen is doing, and I appreciate what all the band, and it's a whole big. It's more than just football. It touches a lot of people, and yeah, that's it. Go
Oh,
Bearcats!
all right, as you heard it, go Bearcats, man. And I appreciate you again, and I appreciate everybody for coming through tonight. Even if you didn't type in the chat, man, if you just stopped by just to watch, man, I appreciate it, man. Shout out to Ty. I wish he was here tonight. I know he had some engagements to take care of, and I know bro, we'll see bro tomorrow at the game, and yeah, man, go Bearcats, man. With that being said, we out, and we'll catch y'all next week.
Peace.
Peace.